All right, hey, everyone. Welcome to our Thursday team call. I'm excited to have Ashley and Allie on with me today. So I wanted to start off the call with giving you guys some info on what's coming up and what's going on in Beachbody World. So something that I think is super duper cool is that Carl, our CEO, if you didn't know, starting today, he will be able to post in our challenge group, in like the challenge group tracker. So he'll be popping in every now and again to, give a little extra motivation and help your challengers. And you also have the option to pin his post if you choose. You also have the option to delete him if you don't want him, which I think is hilarious. I'm just going to delete the CEO. So I think that's really cool. I think that just, I don't know. I think it gives more integrity to the company and just shows, our customers how much our CEO is behind this. I know that a lot of coaches, when they get the starter and they get to get on the call with Carl, that's really cool. So I think this will be just really pretty awesome. So you also have a chance to win the $1,000 with the Core to Force social media contest. So from November, oh crap, it ended. Sorry. That one ended on the 30th. Did anyone do that? I was thinking that was going further, but apparently not. So make sure you're listening to the National Wake Up Calls. Those are amazing tools for coaches, especially new coaches. Actually, no, let's just scrap that. It's good for anyone because this business is not like normal 9-to-5 jobs where you go in and you do your work and someone tells you what to do. A lot of times you're sitting in your house or you're wherever and you're completely alone, and you can lose sight of what this business is. You can lose that excitement and that drive when you're sitting by yourself. So I feel like these team calls and the national wake-up calls are so important for you to get onto because they just reignite your excitement with this business, and it just makes you feel like you're not alone in it. And especially like the Super Saturdays and Summit and all these things, those are your chance to like re-find your passion for the business. So I highly recommend that you're listening to the National Wake Up Call. You may be like me and not listen while it's live, which is fine. You do get a chance to win stuff every now and again if you are on the live call. But if you don't have that option, you can listen to it. So just go into the back office. You click on the very first thing it says it right on the side, the call. So make sure that you're listening to that, because not only does it give you excitement and things like that, it teaches you something every single call. And it's not from, people who are just starting out in the business. It's people who have seen amazing success with this business. So make sure that you're taking advantage of that. So apparently they have also extended the holiday sale on apparel and accessories. So check that out also. And then the 3-day refresh, I think, is coming to an end soon, the sale on that. It goes until December 5th. So you have 5 more days to take advantage of the 3-day refresh being on sale. It does not include the challenge pack, though. So just keep that in mind. So those are the things that are going on in Beachbody World. And again, make sure that you're looking in the back office every day for the coaching breaking news, because there's always stuff going on, things that you can find out about. Also, I wanted to let you know what the sales are going to be for December. So they are going to just be the Core to Force. It's going to be $140 instead of $160 for the month of December. So that's what I wanted to share with you about what's going on. Now, what I really want to talk to you guys about is going into December. December is a critical month to not drop the ball for a couple of reasons. One, people are really focused on the holidays and all that kind of stuff that is going on. It is not impossible to make Success Club 5 or 10 in December. I've been doing it for, when I make Success Club this month, I will be in Success Club 10 for 50 months in a row. So you can't tell me that December is impossible to make Success Club, because I have been in Success Club 10 for 50 months in a row. And it's not easy. Last night I was scrambling and I made Success Club 10 on the last day. Right at the last minute, it was like 7:45 at night and I was freaking out. So it does not come easy to me. So I want you guys to know that. I don't preach this all the time and say you need to be making Success Club and you need to be reaching out to people for the fun of it. I am telling you that because that's what I do, and I've been doing it for a long time. I've been in this business a long time, and I've been consistent. Just like with your health and fitness, you need to be consistent. And it's not about being consistent with just working out. And it's not about being consistent with just eating right. It's about being consistent with both and keeping that happy balance. So you guys have a really important tool for you that we have in Team Unstoppable's files, and it's called your checklist. And I know all of you know about the checklist, and I know you know how to do the checklist. But how many of you are actually doing the checklist daily? I can tell you without a doubt in my mind that I do my checklist every single day, except Saturday and Sundays are iffy. Sometimes I do them, but a lot of times I'll take Saturday and Sunday off just because I'm with family, or it just is, I just take those days off. Sometimes I need to just unwind from Facebook. But other than that, Monday through Friday, I do my checklist every single day. So you guys have to stop and say, okay, how important is this business to me? And when am I going to make the time? So just like you have to schedule your workouts, you need to schedule your checklist. So if you want to break up your checklist throughout the day, if you work full-time somewhere, then do that. Like maybe you wake up 15, 20 minutes early and you send out all new messages. Like you go to your favorite site, favorite TV show, let's use Gilmore Girls as an example. You go to that site, you send out 25 new messages to people. In the checklist, in Team Unstoppable, it tells you an example of exactly what you can say to people. But it's basically saying where you found them, that you have that common interest too, you know it's random, and you ask them a question. That's pretty much the go-to for cold marketing, new people messaging. So do that. And then when you have a break, go through, and what I do with messaging when I'm responding to messages, I think this is where a lot of you get overwhelmed. And I think the reason why you get overwhelmed with it is the same, I feel that way sometimes too. Like I look at it and I'm like, oh, I just don't want to do this. But what I do to get myself through it is I set down a certain amount of time. I go to messages on Facebook and I hit see all. And actually I'll show you guys what it looks like. Because I think that it's important for you to see how to do this. You might already know how to do it. In that case, great. Right here. So this is the checklist, daily activities checklist. So you're going to hit the messages and you're going to hit see all. As you can see, I have 30 messages I have to respond to. So what I do is I hit more and I hit unread. And then I scroll all the way to the bottom, and then I click on this one, I respond to them, I go to the next one, I respond to them, and I just go from the bottom and I work my way up to the top. When someone starts messaging me back, when they start messaging me back, I don't respond to that person. Unless I am in the middle of inviting them. That's the only time that I will respond back to them, or if I have time. But most of the time I answer my messages once a day. That's why I'm always telling coaches, if you have questions, ask in Team Unstoppable, because I don't see my messages after I've looked at them the day. So typically I'll check my messages about this time of day, and then I won't check them again until the next day. I don't want you guys getting bogged down in conversations on Facebook, and that takes up hours at a time. Like you need to set, okay, I'm only answering these messages. The only exception is brand new coaches, if you see a message pop up, or if you're in the middle of sending an invite. That's the only time that I would respond to messages, because I don't want to get bogged down. So I'll go through all 30 of these messages. I'll respond to all of them. And then, so that's two of the most important parts of your checklist. If you're messaging correctly, you don't need to go and find people to invite at this point. When I message all 30 of these people, I can guarantee you that at least one person in there is going to get an invite just from responding to my messages, because I'm setting it up that way. So I typically start my cold marketing from someone who's watching a television show. So I ask them about the television show. It has to be something that you really enjoy, because you may have 4 or 5 back and forth about the show. And if you don't really like it, you're going to run out of things after 1 or 2, and they'll know that you really don't like it. So it needs to be something that you really do enjoy. And so you can ask questions about that. Once you've kind of gone through and you're like, okay, I'm kind of sick of talking about this show, I'll say, you know, what other shows do you enjoy? I'm always looking for new ones to check out. Once I kind of go through that, I will say, what do you like to do for fun? Do you have any hobbies? At this point, they'll say what they like to do, and a lot of times they're going to ask me what I like to do. My number one thing that I say for my hobby is working out. And people are like, you like to work out? And I'm like, yeah, it's actually my job. And then that goes into the health and fitness. And that's how I get people to go there. Or I say, well, what do you do for work, or that kind of thing. I'll also talk about children. So kind of, you have to learn, and that's the hardest part, is you have to learn how to transfer those conversations and how to lead a conversation to where you want it to go without looking icky. And I think the reason why I've been successful with this is a couple of reasons. One, I usually don't start out with a fitness post. It's usually a show that I really like. 2, I have no expectation of the person I'm talking to. Like, the only expectation that I have is that I found someone that loves the show just as much as me, and we have that in common, and we could maybe build a friendship on that. I have no ties to if they're going to join me in the challenge group, or if they're going to join me as a coach, or whatever. I have 0 expectations of that. I'm just trying to get to know them. And it does take a little bit of time. So that's where you guys have to kind of plant those seeds. And the only way you're going to get better at this is doing it. And I think a lot of times you guys are so nervous about making mistakes with people or saying the wrong thing to people that you just don't do it at all. But you're not going to get where you want to go if you don't do it at all. And I promise you, there's millions upon millions of people on Facebook that you can screw up with, hundreds of them, and it's okay. Like, I'm sure I've offended people. I'm sure people thought I was weird. I'm sure people are like, this is so strange that you're messaging me. But there's those few people that you do connect with that you become friends with. And that's what's so cool about this business. So stop worrying about being perfect with your conversations, and stop worrying about, oh, I pitched too soon, or I took too long to pitch, or I didn't pitch at all. Because you just can't get into that. Otherwise, you're going to be, my computer's dying. Okay, there we go. Otherwise, you're going to never move forward with this, okay? So you just need to jump in. You need to make time. And even if you only send new messages and respond to messages, and that's all you have time for, I would rather that happen than you do nothing at all. And a lot of times that's kind of what I'll do on weekends. But you have to be messaging people. Tip for you. If you have someone that's responding to you in 1 or 2 word sentences, like cool, yeah, or okay, sounds fun, just stop messaging them. Hit the little X button on the side and move on to someone new. You don't have time for that. You want someone that's excited to talk to you, because there are hundreds of women who are sitting at home with their kids that are so overwhelmed with life, that are so lonely, that are so sick of having no one to talk to all day, that they're excited to talk to you. So find those people, invest in those people, become friends with those people. Another thing that you need to do is you need to keep track of who you are inviting. So I don't care how you do it. You need to find your own system. I'm not going to tell you how to do it, The way I do it is I'm old school. I have a notebook. My notebook is in the other room. But every time I invite someone, I write them down. Every time I invite someone to the coaching opportunity, I write them down and I write a C next to it. Anytime someone signs up, they get a highlighter through their name. Anytime someone has a coach, they get a highlighter through the name because I'm not messing with someone who has a coach. If that person that I highlight through decides they want to come to me, then it's up to them. But at that point, I just highlight them out and I move on. Now, at certain points of the month, I go back to that list. And so like the first of the month, I go through it, the middle of the month, and the end of the month. I do it at like 3 times throughout the month. And I start at the beginning of the book and I work my way through. So I'm not messaging the same people all 3 times of the month. I'm just messaging new people from that list because there's hundreds of people on that list. That's my way of following up with people. I'm just continuing to talk to them. If a customer says they want to sign up in December, I put that person in my phone saying, follow up with so-and-so on December, whatever, because that's when they wanted to join. I don't put that person only in my book. They still go in the book, but they also go in my phone so I remember they wanted to sign up at a specific time. But that's the core of it. The other part of it is if you are messaging someone cold market, you need your page to speak to them, okay? So you cannot be one of those people that shares Beachbody stuff on your page all the time. Like you go to a Beachbody page and you share it to yours. Like if you want, like download the picture and like upload your own content for it so that it looks like it's yours. I also don't want you posting about Beachbody 5 million times a day because that also looks yucky. You need to have a really good balance on your page. And some days, I'll be honest, my page stinks. Like I don't have any desire to do anything good. I have nothing nice to say, or I have no like desire to post. That happens. But for the most part, your page needs to show that you are a coach, that you are whatever you're trying to find. Like I'm a mom of older kids. I am, I'm a cat lover. Everyone knows that I'm the crazy cat lady. You have to kind of put yourself out there because that's your window to your business. And if you ever have someone that you're cold marketing messaging, just imagine someone messages you, right? You get a new person that messages you, you instantly go to look at their page. You're like, who's this person? What are they about? If they have like weird stuff on their page or stuff that's not relatable to you at all, or they're constantly, all of their posts throughout the whole thing is all shared posts. There's no pictures of them. There's no pictures of their family. There's no pictures of their dog. There's no pictures of their life. You're like, I don't know who this person is. I don't want to be friends with this person. You're not going to message them. But if you look at their page and you're like, hey, this person's really motivating. This person looks like a lot of fun. This person has really great craft ideas. This person has really good recipe ideas. You are drawn to that person already. You're like, this person's so cool. You have to have your page speak for you. It's a 2-part. It's like the working out and the eating right. You got to do the messaging and the responding, but you also have to have your page speak to them. And if you're doing a good job of both of those, you're going to get responses back. Another thing is don't be invested, like don't take so much time to figure out who to message because a lot of times those people might not message you back ever. So if you're like looking at someone's page for 5 and 10 minutes at a time, that's 5 or 10 minutes that it takes that one person that might not respond to you. So instead, kind of just glance at their picture, make sure they're not a coach, make sure they're in the United States, and then message them. Okay? Because you might not get responses. Another thing is I've been doing this for so long, I get messages from people from 2013 that are responding to me now. So just do it every single day, like brushing your teeth. Messaging new people is like brushing your teeth. You do it even though you might not necessarily see the benefit at the time, except if it's been a really long time and you haven't brushed your teeth in a long time, they feel fuzzy, then it does feel good. But you most of the time just do it because you're like, I know I need to brush my teeth because I'm keeping them healthy. Messaging is the same way. And if you're only messaging 10 people a day, I would say step it up. I typically message as many people as it will let me. It comes up and it says you've messaged too many. And honestly, guys, that doesn't take me very long. It takes me maybe 15 minutes at tops to message that many people. But if you're only able to get in 10, I'd rather you do 10 than none, okay? But 10 really is not enough because of the way Facebook is distributing the messages. Like, it's not all of them are being seen. Not all of people know that there's another box. Sometimes they just go into their regular mailbox, but sometimes they don't. Another thing that I do is now it's showing messages that you sent to someone, but they haven't responded, but it shows up in your unseen box. So what I do with those is they have not responded, but it says has accepted your message. Like, I don't know if you guys have seen these, but it says so-and-so has accepted your message. So I message them again. So like if it was a Gilmore Girls message, I will ask them another question about Gilmore Girls. I'll say, hey, thanks for accepting my message. Are you still watching Gilmore Girls? Or are you, like, a lot of them, I'm running an ad, or I was running an ad for taking care of yourself as a mom on my fitness page. So I have to message people on my personal page. So sometimes they'll see that post and I'll say, thanks for accepting my message. Are you still working towards some fitness goals? So I'm always asking them another question, which pops it up in their thing again, and they're more likely to respond to you. So if you get one of those messages, make sure that you take the time to say thank you for accepting my message and ask them another question. That's really important because those people will respond to you. So I need you guys to look at your day and say, okay, I only have 10 minutes in the morning, 10 minutes at night, and 10 minutes during the day, and break those checklists up. Do your messaging at one 10-minute time slot. Do your responding at another 10, and you know, kind of think about 3 posts that you can do throughout the day for your Facebook. Like, those are the most important parts of your checklist. If that's the only part that's getting done, aside from your workout and your Shakeology, that's like a no-brainer. That should not be even, shouldn't be on the list because it should just be done. But make sure that's done. So another thing is that you need to be printing out the checklist. Like, I have my checklist printed out and I actually laminated so I can use a dry erase marker. If you want, you can print it out and put it in a picture frame and dry erase on the glass. But you need to be checking it off. I know my checklist inside and out. But if I'm not checking them off, I don't do as much. Well, that's pretty much what it is. I don't do as much if I'm not checking it off, because I always pretty much do my checklist. But if I'm not checking it off, I'm not doing as much. So when I check it off saying that I've invited, I probably will invite 3 to 5. But if I'm just checking it off in my brain, I probably will only invite 1. So you need to be checking it off. Even if you know that checklist front and back, you need to be checking it off, okay? And then another thing is that you find like a buddy that you can message your checklist to. Like, screenshot it and send it to them saying, hey, I checked off my checklist today. Did you? And have a buddy system. That's kind of like a success partner, but you need someone to hold you accountable, because when you're all alone by yourself in your own house, it's easy to skip these things. But I have a coach who decided that it would be easier to stop being a stay-at-home mom and go out into the real world and work a 9-to-5 job that they get a steady paycheck for, okay? She decided that would be easier. Well, she's done it for a few months, and she's like, this is awful. I do not want to do this. And they ended up quitting their job, and they want to come back as a coach because it's not fun to go out into the real world. Yes, it may be more steady pay, but it's not easier to do that. It's so much harder. So please invest in this business because it will pay you back, but you have to be consistent. Nothing happens with success without consistency. You have to be consistent. You have to find the time for your checklist every single day. It is non-negotiable. You have to find the time. And no one can make you find the time. Like, I may be your upline coach, but I can't make you successful at this business. I can show you the tools that you need, but I can't be the one that says to you every single day, you need to do your checklist. Like, you're a grown-up, you're the CEO of your own business, so you have to make the choice for yourself. You know, I'm here to support you, but you have to make that decision. I wake up every single day and I make that decision for myself and my family, because I want to be able to do the things that this business has been able to provide for our family. Guys, I can't even begin to describe the difference that it's made. And there's some months and there's some times where I'm like, why am I doing this business? Like sometimes I feel like I'm stuck in a rut. But then I look at what it's bringing me in my life and I'm like, who cares if I'm stuck in a rut right now? This is bringing me so much joy, so much of everything, and it is making life so much better. So I want you guys to hold on to those thoughts when you don't feel like doing your checklist, or it's 9:30 at night and you're exhausted because the kids were on you all day, or you may still have a kid on. But you need to just open that laptop up and just do it, or your phone or whatever. The phone is not ideal. But it is possible to do it from the phone. But you guys just have to say, I'm going to do this, and I'm going to do this for me. It's really, really important. So anyone have any questions or anything they want to piggyback on that? Ashley, she.
I can't. I'm like just typing she over again. I didn't want to interrupt you. Celia's up, so I'm going to go get her. Do you think you're going to be on for a little bit? Like I can leave you up and go get her and come back?
Well, the meeting's going to kick me off in 8 minutes, but I don't know if we have any questions. If we have questions, I'll stay on. If not, then...
Well, I'll just leave it up. If you hang up, I'm just going to go get her.
Mm-hmm. Ashley. Allie, do you have any things to add on? Anything you want to say?
The only thing I would add on and to emphasize is that it's important to have a checklist on paper that you are checking off, physically checking off, because I've done it where I'm like, oh, I know in my head, I have to do this, I have to do this. But when you don't have it written down and you're not checking it off, you are more likely to say, I'm going to do that later, and you don't wind up doing it. Plus, you get that sense of accomplishment when you see the paper and everything is checked off, and you can also track better. I sent out 5 invites on Monday. I thought I sent out more, but I didn't. Everything gets tracked easier, and it's not as overwhelming. So to really have something on paper that you're looking at and checking off one by one is not the same thing as having it in your head and mentally checking it off.
Yeah, for sure. Well, it's kind of like eating. Like if you are tracking your eating, you know, you could eat like that. Well, I'm going to have a bite of the kids' food, and that doesn't count. You know, you kind of, it's the same type of thing. You think, oh, I've done that, or I'm not doing that, but you typically are not as good when you aren't using something to check things off. Another thing is that when we're, like, sometimes I post pop-up team call, not calls, but like team working Zooms or workout thing. If you can get on, I think it's really important. I know for a fact that there are people who are available at those times, but they're nervous to get on, or they feel like, I don't know what I'm going to say when I'm on, or whatever. But like, honestly, Allie is always on with me. She gets on like 99.9% of the time when I do these. Because we have very similar schedules, similar age kids, so it's easy for her to get on with me at different times. But I know that sometimes people are overwhelmed to get on these calls. I know that because I felt the same way when I started out coaching. I didn't want to get on my upline team calls because I was overwhelmed with it. But even if you get on and you're like walking around doing stuff and you're not actually like participating, you're still like listening, it's a way for us to connect. And I think that that's really important, to be connected in some way, because it makes you feel less alone. And that's what I started this whole thing for, was because I felt alone when I was home with the kids. And I remember watching the clock being like, oh my gosh, is Jessie home yet? Like, I need someone to talk to. I need someone to connect with. And as coaches, we have that natural connection. So we just need to take advantage of that by getting on. So if you're doing your checklist, or you feel like chatting with someone, throw up a Zoom and say, hey, come hang out with me. If no one gets on, well, you're working anyways. But if someone gets on with you, then you make that connection. So I try to do that when I'm working. I don't always do it. Sometimes I forget, to be honest. But I think that that's a really great way to find and meet and find that you have connections with people that you might not have to begin with. So I think that's pretty much it for the call, unless either one of you have anything to add. No? Good. I wonder if I have time to go to Costco now. I was trying to go to Costco this morning, and I was like, I don't have time to do that. But now I might have time to go to Costco.
I know. I needed to go there too, and we didn't make it.
I don't really want to take the kids with me, but.
Hey, Stacey?
Yeah.
I thought the challenge pack deals were not only Court of Force, but also fix and fix.
Well, I got the diamond email, and it only says Court of Force. Let me double check just to make sure.
Because my diamond email says differently.
Well, I am an idiot from time to time, and I only read what I want. Let me look.
Diamond Insider.
Where is it? Well,
because it says Court of Force, but then it says check out all December challenge pack promotions.
Yeah. See, I didn't read far enough.
Not thorough.
Okay. Well, thank you. So it is. What other ones are there? Okay. So it's Court of Force, the digital one or the one with the DVD. We also have Country Heat, 21-day fix, 21-day fix extreme, and the challenge packs include a free insulated tote bag for the second month in a row. So that's kind of cool. Who doesn't want a tote bag? And then what other things? Do you get a free gift this month? Yes. So if you make Success Club 5 this month, is an invitation to a personal development webinar hosted by Elizabeth Gilbert, the author of Eat, Pray, Love, and the latest book, Big Magic, Creative Living Beyond Fear. Maybe that will be a good book for us to pick up. Did anyone finish the, what is that book called? The Get Over Your Damn Self? Because that was a really good book. I really liked that book. I really enjoyed it. So, all right. Well, it's going to kick us off. Did you have something else, Allie? You look like you were going to say something.
No, sorry. Lucky and Kaylin just walked in.
Oh, hi, Kaylin. All right. So I will let you ladies go. Thanks for getting on. Hi, Celia. You guys have a wonderful day.